Hello everyone, my name is Casey, also known as the Heart of Reviews, and today we are talking about A Merry Scottish Christmas, starring the Queen of Christmas, Lacey Chabert, and her party of five brother co-star, Scott Wolf. Today, we have a very special guest who does not know how he would like to be introduced. Scott. Hello.
Hi, I'm Scott. This movie sucked. Is that how we start?
This is not how we're gonna start. So Scott, you have never seen a Hallmark movie before.
Nope, this was my first one.
Which I deeply apologized for before we started watching, because I had a feeling it was not gonna be very good. And,
You were right, yeah.
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 It was really bad. It's okay.
There are better ones.
That's what you said, and I hope there are. This was a tough way to start out watching Hallmark movies. Like, this movie sucked. It was poorly acted. It looked cheaply made. The script was really bad and just told you everything you needed to know about the characters instead of showing them to you once. So there was like all this implied character development that you never actually saw happen.
So the plot of this movie: estranged brother and sister duo Lacey Chabert, Lindsay, and Scott Wolf, Brad, are invited to Scotland by their mother, who does not live in Scotland.
Josephine.
Yes, their mother Josephine.
Yes.
And there they find out that their mother is actually the Duchess of, what's it called?
Glencove?
Glencrave.
Glencrave.
Glencrave, which
Glencrave?
is right?
Is that real?
No.
Oh.
No, it's not real. I looked
That's
it
a
up.
bad name.
Not a clan. And they find out they're Duke and Duchess of Glencrave because their mom is the Duchess, and then she decided to leave because she didn't want her whole life to be mapped out for her. And so she went off with her folk rock playing boyfriend and started a family and had Scott Wolf and Lacey Chabert. And then there's a new conflict. There are lots of little conflicts that happen throughout this movie. We find out that unless they become the Duke and Duchess of the castle, they're gonna have to sell it.
Oh, that was the whole thing?
Yeah, they're gonna have to sell the castle. I don't know why there's not like
I didn't know they had to sell it. I thought they were just like, we'll sell it.
No, I don't know why.
Like, maybe I stepped out during that part, but like,
I don't know why they don't have like a contingency plan. They don't have any other heirs. They don't have any other family. There's not like a cousin. Also, I don't understand why, if her life was so mapped out, where she was like, I'm gonna have to do all these things, why didn't they make Danny, the Duke who just passed away, Josephine's brother, why didn't they make him have kids? He was just so focused on playing Santa that he forgot to have kids. That's how they said it. They were like, he was just playing Santa too much. In the worst Santa costume I've ever seen.
it was bad.
It was the worst. I'm gonna show a little clip of this beard. I've never seen a worse beard, and I've seen a lot of bad beards. I've watched, countless Hallmark films. Why is it so puffy?
It just looks cheap.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
cheap.
plastic.
If they film at a real castle in Scotland, if they can pay Lacey Chabert money to film at a real castle in Scotland, they can't find a better beard anywhere? They got like a beautiful tartan dress for her at the end. It was gorgeous. And they couldn't find a beard? Also, he was a secret whittler. We've had so many secret whittlers this year. Secret whittling, that's a trope. That's a really old Hallmark trope. And you saw in Danny's shed, why did the Duke live in a shed? I don't know. You saw that he was a secret whittler.
Yeah.
It's real classic.
It's a nice touch.
So anyway, so they decide to not sell the castle. Scott Wolf and his wife Sarah, who are allegedly having marital problems. We don't see this in any way whatsoever. But they can have kids. They've been trying IVF. They just decide, yeah, sure, we'll upend our lives and go live in Scotland. He's like a lawyer, or he does taxes. He does lawyer and taxes at the same time.
Something important. Where doesn't he have a line about working like 70-hour week or?
Maybe.
Like
I guess he's a tax
days.
attorney. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know much about taxes.
Well, I don't think he knows anything about Scottish taxes, but I don't know. Do you need a job if you're the Duke? Do they have money?
Royalty.
But do they have money?
Isn't that the whole point of being royal? Is that you come from like generational, unlimited wealth?
Yeah, but Josephine left and married a folk rock artist.
Which was bad.
Yeah, because as Scott Wolf says, he says,
we are products of folk rock.
What does that mean?
Who are you throwing shade at? I feel like folk rock doesn't really advocate for any, malicious, bad things.
And he was saying that that's the reason why they're estranged.
What?
I don't know. Also, the whole reason why they're estranged makes no sense. It's like, because...
We're talking about Gretchen Wieners and Scott Wolf though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Because he didn't come to her high school graduation or something because he was
It's
working.
like they had scheduling conflicts twice. And then they were like, we're never going to speak again, and I think you hate me.
It's so stupid. And then Josephine and her brother, because it's a lot of parallel storylines.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
They were also estranged because she was like, I can't be a duchess anymore, which is a thing that she never expressed to anyone. Like she went off at 20 years old.
This was the scene with young Josephine, right? Who, by the way, does have a Scottish accent when old Josephine does not.
It's because she sang too much folk rock.
Right. Corrupted by the hippies. But also, they have this really, really powerful, evocative, important scene for Josephine's character where she leaves her family and abandons her title. And her brother, right? Great. The parallels.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
Is there to try to convince her to stay. And he's really invested in the moment. And you can tell because his hands are in his pockets.
He's like, no, stay. Everyone in this movie just displayed so much apathy towards everything.
Anytime anyone delivered a line of dialogue, and like, especially if it was supposed to be serious, they kind of had a soft smile, which was confusing. Like, they had this one scene between Gretchen Wieners and Scott Wolf, right? And they're like every line in that scene, they just like smiled while they said it.
Sarah really wants a baby. And we've been trying IVF with no luck.
I'm sorry.
And but it felt like they really thought they were killing it. You know, like it felt like, wow, this is like the highlight of the movie. This really showcases our range.
I do love Lacey Chabert.
It felt like it was directed by Dave Filoni. Don't watch Ahsoka.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's here for on this Hallmark channel. Star Wars.
I'm bringing my fresh perspective.
I also really liked the scene where Lacey Chabert is like, you're the only man I've ever felt safe with. And what was his response?
The vibes are weird with the brother and sister. From like the start of the movie, from like the first scene of the movie, like when they first see each other, and there's this tension, and I'm like, oh, they're exes.
It was a classic Hallmark re-meet cute. Like, you see them in the airport and you physically like bump into them and it's awkward.
Like, the tone of this like central relationship was weird, man. Like,
yeah, it did kind of feel like they took a Hallmark movie that was written for two exes, and then they retooled it to be brother and sister, and then just to really hammer home that point, they had about 300 conversations about how brothers and sisters should be friends.
And I just didn't feel like they thought about the implication.
They also just have a lot of chemistry. You know, they're old friends. They've known each other a long
Then
time.
why aren't they romantic leads?
Because people don't want to see that because they were brother and sister.
I don't want to see this. This sucked. It was so awkward and weird.
Can we...
They were so hot for each other. It made no sense.
Drinking dirty reindeers?
Dirty reindeers? Get out.
Okay, but can we talk about the real romantic lead?
Hamish?
No. I wish it was Hamish.
Bagpipes.
The real romantic lead, who I call, what do I call him? Scottish Hallmark Paul Mescal. His story was just so weird. Because it seemed to me like the only reason why he wanted Lacey Chabert was because she could give him a job. He needed a job. And also, he could marry up. He could be a duke. Like, he was marrying her for her title and also for a job.
There was like no connection.
No. His whole job was to be like, you should stay in Scotland though. What if you saved the castle? What if I took over the castle? But also, like, it's fine if you leave, but you should stay.
And like, one of the early scenes, I feel like that they're alone and they're supposed to be like developing their relationship. He just like takes her into the woods and he's carrying an axe and a shovel and a burlap sack.
Yep. And she
He
doesn't...
cuts down a Christmas tree, but
No. She thinks nothing of it.
weird.
As he's like violently attacking the tree
Very
with an axe.
weird.
He's not even like nicely sawing it. I get that he was going to use it for firewood until she was like, it's a
He's
perfect
really chopping
tree.
it like the middle of the tree, too.
Yeah, he's just going at
swinging
it.
at it.
And then when they chop it down, of course, it's like a perfect cut somehow.
No, when they bring the tree into the room in the castle, it's fully just like, you can tell like it's been wrapped, and then like the net was just cut off of it because all the leaves it's all like pressed. Are we gonna talk about MS Paint?
Oh, we have to talk about MS Paint.
They used MS Paint.
I don't even
twice.
know. I feel like I can make that in about 3 seconds on the internet. What they did was they took a photo, a real photo, clearly. And then they converted it with some like blurry paint tool. There used to be this it's like Chrome extension where that's what you do. You would take a picture and then you would take a little like blurry paintbrush and you'd go like this and it would make it look like it was painted really blurrily. And then at the end of the movie, because they already showed it like 3-4 times, which is too many times for this terrible portrait. At the end of the movie, they take a picture. We see them take the picture.
Literally, they take a picture on a phone or whatever. They take a picture.
And then
it's MS Paint. They made the picture that we see the movie. Really the most interesting character in the movie? I think his name was Graham, the old butler. Mm-hmm. He's been through stuff. Like you see it in his face.
Yeah.
I want him as my lead, but we see him take the picture, and then like the next frame is a painting of that picture, and it's just blurry. Like it's just the picture, but blurry and pixelated. There was one shot that I swear to God, it looked like there was a CGI wreath, which I don't think they did that. But the way the camera just like approached the window and then it transitioned into the next shot, it looked so bad.
I kind of liked that shot. For Hallmark, that's a great shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I will say...
Is that ambitious?
Yeah, that's ambitious. They were taking risks with that shot. The director was doing something there.
Yeah, the castle looked so bad.
Well, the outside...
No. Yeah, the exterior, it was...
And like when they were actually filming in the castle, clearly, like maybe the front hall could have
That
been.
first scene with Hamish.
Hamish. It's not the
Whatever.
Yeah, that was good. But after that, like she was just in a bedroom.
It just looks like a room in a house.
Yeah.
In
but
Southern
then,
California, like.
But then there was like a different room that was just all like unpainted wood, but not even like nice wood. Like it was like 2x4s. But clearly they filmed at the castle for a while. Like they said they were there for like a long time.
Yeah, at least an hour.
I want to talk about Will Kemp, our cameo. The cameos this year have been very interesting because in past years, and I like the cameos, I do. In past years, it's been like Andrew Walker walks through a frame. In Heidelberg Holiday, Jonathan Bennett was just like in the back. To be honest, I didn't even see him. Niall Matter in the Santa Summit was actually pretty funny. It went all along, but it was pretty funny. But this one, I think they just realized that maybe the romantic tension they had between Lacey Chabert and Scottish Hallmark Matthew Goode just like wasn't that great. So they just brought in Will Kemp, her former co-star, who is so good. I love Will Kemp and I love Lacey Chabert and Will Kemp. They make really good movies. Lacey Chabert, I love her. She's not the most versatile actress. She always has a soft smile because she just loves what she does. And I appreciate that. It works with Will Kemp. Like Christmas Waltz was a great movie. The line in this movie where she said that all she knows how to do is waltz and tango, that's really funny. It's a great reference. But like they had so much chemistry. He was kicking up a storm and he was in it for so long randomly in ways that made no sense. But you know what? I loved it because I was like, this is the only part of the movie that I care about.
Did that dance sequence progress the plot at all?
No, they did it just because they wanted Will Kemp to kick his funny little legs up.
Great, thanks.
And I liked it. I was invested. Once Will Kemp came on stage, I said, on screen.
On stage.
On screen. I said, this doesn't make any sense, but you know what? I like it.
He was charming.
I wish
but
that
as
he was
someone
in it.
who doesn't know who Will Kemp is,
I know.
sorry. Didn't do anything for me.
I know, but that's, maybe we just need
Except
to...
make me wish I was watching a different movie.
Yeah, maybe let's just recast the movie, and now it's just Will Kemp, and instead of brother-sister, they're dating. Because Hallmark, they have this plot all the time. Two people who do not want to be together inherit a large piece of land together and have to figure it out together. How often does this happen? Also, can we talk about the conflict? The conflict is that he decides that he wants to be a duke after they decided that they were just gonna like keep the castle and let Scottish Hallmark Matthew Goode run it, and then they were just gonna like come back and forth or whatever. And then Scott Wolf says, "No, I want to stay." And Lacey Chabert's like, "That's not the deal. That doesn't make any sense, Lacey. Why are you so mad about that? He can live there and you cannot. That's fine. You're allowed to be separated. Most siblings are. Most siblings are separated."
Casey, I have a question. Were there stakes in this movie?
They have to sell the castle.
There's no reason to care about anyone. Like, no one has anything at stake.
But we want them to become friends again. Or be lovers.
Because they couldn't make it? to each other's things. Whatever, man.
I know. The conflict was not.
There was no
None
conflict.
of the conflicts were great. I
Even,
wanted
like-
Max to have a job because he was just angling so hard for
Also,
one.
wait. Was it explained why Josephine suddenly has a change of heart and wants to tell her kids about her family?
No, she said that she just like randomly was like she felt bad, so she wrote him a letter, and then he died.
Well, that's stupid.
But he wrote her back. He forgave her, but he never sent it because he died. I also really liked the fake snow, especially when it was when they were at the graveyard. That was like 12 headstones, and they had fake snow everywhere, and it literally looked like they had dug a grave and then inserted the fake snow into the grave, like it was inset in the ground. It's not what snow looks like. Also, they ended this with a Cher and Michael Bublé song. I know that they paid a lot of money to give the new Cher album. Hypothetically, maybe Cher doesn't charge because she's Cher, but I know that they used the song in Santa Summit, which was great. It was a great ending to that film. It was big and fun. It was great. This one, they had like bagpipe music the whole time, and then all of a sudden it was like a weird romantic vibe between her and Scott Wolf because they were playing like the nice little like Michael Bublé jazziness, and then it's just Cher. And I get that thematically the words made sense. Bad choice. It took me way out of it. I was like, are we in Scotland or not?
Can we talk about the bagpipes? What was the song he played when they first arrived at the castle?
I think it was Deck the Halls.
Well, unless there's another version of Deck the Halls.
Yep.
Okay, unless there's a version of Deck the Halls where the melody is grating and changes between major and minor. That's what they played, and it's on bagpipes. So it was. It was. I didn't like it.
It went on for so long.
It was so much bagpipes.
Because as like a little joke about Scotland and bagpipes, sure, but it was a long time to listen to bagpipes.
What kind of line is "We are products of folk rock"? Who are you? Who hurt you?
It's not even the fact that they're okay. I can understand if they were estranged because they missed things in each other's lives because of the folk rock, but their scheduling conflicts had nothing to do with folk rock.
They're just like work.
Because they both just work too much. They're workaholics. It's a classic Hallmark.
She has to. She works at the clinic.
She owns a clinic.
She owns the clinic.
And now
she owns a clinic.
And now she's going to just work at her boyfriend's mom's.
She decides to leave the castle. They have this long goodbye with her and her family. And her and her brother say, "I love you a few too many times."
I love you the best.
Anyway, she gets in the car. She's driving away. She's decided that this isn't for her.
Okay, wait, no, wait.
Yes.
So first of all, the man who she's in love with now, he's like, hey, what is it you care about? Like, why are you going back to America? What do you care about? She's like, my family. Your family who's in Scotland. And then she's like, oh, and I like my patient. I like treating people as a doctor. First of all, what has she been living towards? What has her life been like before this moment? We don't know anything.
There was like no moment before for any of these characters.
No.
At the start of this film.
No, she was just dropped right into this airport in Scotland. I just don't understand like how she wasn't terribly depressed if all she cares about is family, and she's then not speaking to her brother because he missed like one event in her life.
So yeah, how can you then say like, oh?
Also, they're
my whole life is about
not
family.
like friends with Josephine either, with their mom. They don't really seem to care about their
There's
mom.
like nothing explored.
We
like,
hear
about
nothing
their
about their
relationship.
dad. What happened to their dad?
No idea.
Where'd he go? Did the folk rock kill him? Is that why they hate it so much?
They're just
PSA. Folk rock kills. Why is this the second movie where a woman goes into the woods with a stranger who has an axe, and this time he had a burlap sack? What's he gonna do with it?
It's so unsettling.
Thank you.
And the Christmas tree he chose to chop down?
It was one of the ones with the squigglies. You know what I mean? The squiggly ones? The limp ones?
Not a good choice. I'm very critical of the media that I consume. And I try to go into things with an open mind. This movie is so bad, and there's just no reason. I don't see why anyone would like it. Like,
because people love Lacey Chabert.
Okay.
I do too. I'm glad that they're giving her the royal title she deserves. She is a queen. I'll take Duchess.
I'm not saying she can't act. I'm saying that in this, she doesn't. There's no reason to care about any of the characters.
It was a lot of fan service. For people who watch Party of Five, I'm sure they loved it.
The like important scenes where like characters should be having like important conversations and developing both on their own arcs and like their relationship. They just tell us about things that have happened in the past that are so much more interesting than anything happening in the present that I'm just asking why wasn't this shown to us?
Yeah, we get the one cutscene of Josephine leaving her family in which she explains everything, and we again see nothing.
And there's no emotional investment from the actors either.
No, hands in pockets.
Like he's just chilling, reading his lines.
Even between Josephine and Elspeth, she was just like, we used to be best friends, and then we didn't have any scene of her talking about her life in America, of her talking about her decision to come back to Scotland, of how they've grown over time. We didn't get to see any of that. She's just like, I'm back! And then they were, I don't know, they had like the most chemistry in the movie. I was really hoping that Josephine was actually gay.
What was Scott Wolf's wife's name? Sarah? Not a character.
No.
Not a character. No. Told they have problems. Like from the start of the film.
Yeah.
Like they're having big marital issues.
Yeah, it seems like they were totally fine.
Yes, and they have, for our benefit, not one, but 2 scenes, almost back to back, where I think there was one scene in between them, where they like make up and
profess their love.
Yes,
but it didn't make any sense because I couldn't tell what they were going for. She was like, what's gonna happen now? And he was like, I don't know. And they were like, I love you.
Yeah.
And then again, he was like, I'm Mr. Cookies. And they were like, I love you.
Which like the great costume design throughout the film, by the way. But the costume designer, I don't know if this was intentional, but at this point in the film, Scott Wolf and Sarah, they start wearing the same colors.
Do they really?
They really do. I think for the rest of the film, every scene they're in, they're wearing like the same color top.
I didn't notice that.
Because they are now one.
This is just the Princess Diaries. But if the Princess Diaries were boring, if instead of it's Anne Hathaway trying to figure out if she really wants this, getting to bond with Julie Andrews, doing things, doing actions, if instead of that it was just her being like, I don't know if I want to do this about 300 times.
Wait, did we ever finish talking about the ending of the movie? When she comes back to the castle?
No, what happens?
So at the end of the film, she says her goodbyes. Gretchen Wieners says her goodbyes, and she gets in the car. Her brother is weird, and then he gives her. She gets the key to the castle, and this gesture is enough to change her mind about which continent she's going to live on, and also completely uprooting her career. So she decides to turn the car around and goes straight back to the house and is like, maybe I should stay. And she literally makes this decision within like 30 seconds of leaving the house. Because when she gets back, everyone who just said goodbye is still standing in the front of the home. So no time has passed. That's how rom-coms work. But like, how can you say this is like a big conflict or decision for her if she's already just like nah. Well, she doesn't have a life in America. How's she gonna return to America if she was just born? Then why is she now even in Scotland for this movie? Why isn't she just like 100% on board with staying? It doesn't make sense. Exactly. He says, "What are you looking forward to back in America?" She's like, "I don't heckin' know. I don't have a life. I'm not a person." So why try to manufacture this tension and conflict whenever it contradicts what you've already established about your character? Yeah, maybe this should have been a conflict-free film. Then I would have had fun. Look at the CGI Christmas wreath. I'm saying they could have, then they could have actually explored what makes Scotland so great. What makes Scotland so great? I don't know, it's pretty. There are Shetland ponies that they call bonny lasses. There was one establishing shot towards the end of this film, and it's just, I think, to show us that we are no longer at the castle, but now at the bar in the town. Yep. But I don't think they've shown, forgive me if I'm wrong, I don't think they show us what the town looks like earlier in the film with a wide shot. No. So you see this, and it provides no context for where the next scene is going to take place, because it doesn't show you anything familiar or anything that looks like a bar. No. It's just like some structures. Yep. Well, in the winter. Well, this is I regret to inform you. This is how Hallmark works. Well, that's bad. They just take a B-roll shot, the same one every single film. Not this one because they were in Scotland, but it's like the same little street with like lights. They've been using it for like 6 years, and that's how we know that we're in a small town. It's just time for some new B-roll. Yeah. Well, when I'm president of Hallmark, I'll get some. Casey for president.
Thank you. Sorry. Thanks for quoting Tyler Hines.
Yeah.
That's right.
He said that.
He said that.
And I know who Tyler Hines is. What are you giving this out of 10 as an overall movie? Like, detached from the fact that it is made by Hallmark, right? Just like as a film.
Yeah. Like if I were to turn this on
Netflix, try to remove your nostalgia. Out of 10, what are you giving it?
I don't rate other movies out of 10. I can't do it.
Well, just try.
I don't think it's on the scale. Because I don't think, here's the thing about Hallmark movies, is that so many of them don't need to be made. Like many of them just should not have happened. Does that make sense? But like as part of the Hallmark channel, I'm glad that they've happened. But if removed from the Hallmark channel, there's absolutely no reason for them to be a movie.
Okay.
So I think that this does not qualify because it just shouldn't be on the scale. Because if Hallmark did not exist, this movie should not exist. Like this would not get picked up by a feature film. This was not a feature film script that got watered down into a Hallmark movie. Like this is a Hallmark movie script. But there are some Hallmark movies that could have been feature films.
And what are you giving this as a Hallmark movie out of 10?
I gave it a 3 out of 10. But I have like a ranking system, so I score based on characters, acting, plot, writing, Christmas magic, charm, personal enjoyment, rewatchability, production value, and plot. Did I already say plot?
Movie sucks, don't watch it.
Okay, goodbye everybody. This has been the Heart of Reviews, and also Scott.
That's me.
Who still doesn't know how he wants to be announced. Bye!